Hello, everyone, and welcome to Barb Bite. Here, as always, with your host, Pitbull #1, Mr. Gary Wolf.
What's happening?
We're going to talk about first. It's been a busy week. Hardee's, McMahon, Sonny's.
Crazy stuff, brother. Crazy stuff. Real quick, just want to let everybody know that Alex, the pug, and me are going to be starting to tag up. We're starting a faction called the Mad Dogs of War, which is pretty good. So we got Nikki Knockout Lee, we got Angel, we got Chris Onoy, bunch of guys, 2 chicks, should be looking good. Got a show in Pompton Lakes in North Jersey on Sunday afternoon. Come out and check that out. It's a day show and it should be really nice weather, so it should be a really good time. Also, Friday night, I'll be signing autographs with GTG on his site, Richie's site. So make sure you guys check that out. And I'll be out there Friday night signing some autographs. So make sure you guys come out and hit me up.
I won't be at any of these things.
Also, June 30th, Monster Factory show at the ECW 2300 Arena. You guys got to come out for that. $6 to get in. Okay, you can't beat that, man. $6 to get in, and it's gonna be a blast. I'm thinking the place should be jam packed because of the price. $6 to get in. I don't think it's ever been that kind of price for that building. It's gonna be a documentary is gonna be filmed from Apple TV in there for the Monster Factory. So it should be really exciting, and I think a lot of people should show up for that.
You know what? One thing I got to mention is I got to give a big shout out to Jeff Hardy, who is now the official Triple Crown champion. He has been arrested for DUIs in WWE, Impact Wrestling, and now AEW. So he's a world champion drunk, in my opinion.
And it was 10 a.m. in the morning.
I don't been fucked over from the night before.
He never went to sleep.
He like Sonny 3.5 times the legal limit.
3.5. Wow. I did see him doing his Q&A, and he was drinking during the Q&A. Now, was that the night before?
Yeah. It was like
He never went to bed. He probably was up all night drinking and partying. I mean, that's what we used to do, but I mean, I don't do that no more. I would have thought he would have learned by now how many times. I mean, he burnt down his own house.
Yeah.
You know, those guys have been through a lot, man. It's freaking amazing that he's still on this planet. He's still alive. You know what I mean? I hope he gets better. I don't want to see nothing happen to him. It's getting to the point now, bro. You better start looking at yourself in the mirror because God forbid, man, what if you would have caused an accident? I mean, look what happened to Sonny. Look at her situation. I mean, that could have been him. God forbid. You know what I mean? I would have never wanted to see that happen. But if he's not going to get better, this has been going on forever, bro. This is not new news to me.
How about when he showed up at
I've heard stories, bro. I'm not mentioning names, but I heard stories of guys who were with him. Okay, while Vince is on his plane on the tarmac, waiting for them to get on the fucking plane with them. They're sitting there on the plane, Vince, wife, Stephanie, Triple H, a couple of the guys that get flown in here and there. And Jeff was supposedly there. And one thing led to another, dude. And they would always make them wait. And I don't care who they are, they would always do it. And the balls that they would have was insanity.
How about when he was at the headline in the Impact pay-per-view? He was going to fight Sting. He was so fucked up. Sting just had to drop him, and Sting was pissed. I mean, it's all over YouTube.
Yeah, I'm checking my phone out right now. Sorry about that, folks. But I'm leaving Friday for a weekend, and I just got a thing couple of minutes ago, 1,200 flights have already been canceled for this weekend.
How come?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm trying to figure out now what they're changing my flight to.
Even the same time.
You know, the Hardys were going to get the straps too. I'm convinced they were going to get the straps so Tony Khan could say straps in every company.
Absolutely. They were supposed to wrestle. I think they were going to get the straps.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I think they were going to build it up so then they could go against the Young Bucks, you know?
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I want the guy to get help, but the only thing, if I was Tony Khan, I watched on that pay-per-view when they fought the Bucks, the Hardy Boys are banged up to shit. I mean, the Bucks did everything. Jeff Hardy's like a sawdust dummy. He's in pain with everything he does. He should be on TV maybe a couple times, maybe once a month, every other month. They should always use them as like an attraction.
They need to heal up. I mean, every time he does that finish, I mean, you could see it on his face, how his lower back is killing him. I know, but is that time too early? Too something getting me out. The show starts at 2 o'clock. It's an afternoon show on Sunday, and I got to fly back.
Don't do like Sabu when he was trying to get back in time for the three-way dance. That didn't end well for him.
No, it's just crazy how all these, like I said, my phone popped up earlier and it said 1,200 flights canceled or delayed. So my one flight was leaving at 7 something out of Newark, which welcome to Newark, sucks. Which would get me back home probably like 10 o'clock or something like that, you know, so, but that's been canceled. So who knows what's going on? I don't want to have to stay another day.
No, not when you're down in Florida. You want to get home where it's 98 degrees.
I want to get home. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they said there's $3 million that were paid out.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're in WWE.
Yeah, and I noticed that when I was reading it, and I noticed Laura Knights' name was mentioned too, which explains why Vince gets rid of them and then hires them back immediately. I don't understand that all the time. Unless
He's a fall guy.
Oh yeah, but he's been there. I mean, I just know how sneaky he is, man. You know what I mean? He wants to be on TV more, so what does he do? He goes out with the Bella's mom.
He married her, didn't he?
Yeah. The shit that I used to hear about this guy, man, would blow your mind.
He was Shane's old partner, correct?
Yes. When they had the fucking skateboards and shit.
The dynamic dudes.
The dynamic dudes. And then he was in New Japan, and then when New Japan split with New Japan and All Japan, he took off and went with All Japan because the owner of that company ended up passing away. So he was getting all frisky with his ex-wife, that chick who was running All Japan. So you wonder why he was in Japan so often. That's his story. There's always something behind his stuff, man.
At first, what I thought was, okay, Vince finally got caught. I don't believe, much like the rest of the world, nothing surprises me with Vince, but they announced today, we're recording this on Friday. We're recording this today, and in an hour you'll see it. He's going to be on SmackDown tonight in character as Mr. McMahon addressing these allegations. Are they trying to compete with the MJF work shoot going on here, or?
Maybe they're trying to compete with plus you got the Hardys with Jeff, what happened to him. But it's like, who would be wanting to look for bad publicity, bad press? I mean,
we were talking, what, 3 weeks ago, Stephanie McMahon takes a leave of absence. Now she's back in charge. It all smells like they knew it was coming.
I even saw something that said Vince and his wife are separated now. I even saw.
He said on that interview with Pat McAfee, he's like, well, my ex-wife, oh wait, I mean my wife, like that. So who knows how long they've been separated? Probably for a long time.
They've probably been separated for a while. I mean, she's a congresswoman, right?
Yeah, she worked for Trump or something like that, which shows, if I was gonna try to get into that money, that's why I never faulted Triple H for going with Stephanie. I'd have went right for Linda. That's where the money is. I've been in that hotel room like, how can I get Linda? That's where I would have went to.
Fucking Doc's like, I just go after Linda.
Yeah.
Because that's the smart play, man.
That's the money right there. I mean,
Money power.
I'm
That's the
assuming that
money and the power.
yeah, that's and so he's fucking a secretary. How many millions of people around the world have fucked somebody that worked in their company? It's not uncommon, but yeah, if he used 3 million of the trustee money, he's fucked. If it's his own money, it's another Mr. McMahon story.
Yeah, but I know how he is, man. I can't see him using his money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just me. I mean, he does throw cash around, but let me tell you, when the time comes sometimes to do business, he's a tight motherfucker, man. I've been there and talked business with him, and he don't like to be pushed into a corner. That's just how he is.
How about when the Warrior at SummerSlam held him up for like $1 million? I guess after the match, he threw the curtain. Here's your $1 million. You're fired. I mean, don't fuck with. I wouldn't fuck with Vince.
No, a lot of guys that have, they got fired immediately. Immediately, I've seen it, heard about it. I'll give you a quick story. I remember one of the boys telling me when Nails was there working, and I like Nails. I was in Australia working with him. He was the heavyweight champ, and we were the tag champs for hardcore championship wrestling in Australia. Live on television, we were there. It was awesome. I was there for like nine months at least. I mean, I was ready to move to Melbourne. That's how long we were there. It was like, if we're going to keep rolling on television every week, and we were pulling 13s. I mean, honestly, our ratings were phenomenal, man. We were right before rugby. So I was like thinking, shit, man, I'll move here in a heartbeat. That's how nice and beautiful that place was, man. Gorgeous. And they paid for everything. All I had to do was pay for my food. They did my travel. They did my hotel where I stayed. I would stay at a Holiday Inn Suites for 3 or 4 days, and I'd be on the road for days. So I would do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then back in Melbourne Monday. And then I'll do TV there. Probably Sunday, I would probably do TV on Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon or something. But we would go to Adelaide, Brisbane, and Sydney, and then back to Melbourne. So that was our loop. It was cool. I liked it. Loved it, actually. If you've never been to Australia or New Zealand, especially if you're a guy, you got to get down there, man. Check it out.
Don't they have big spiders, though?
Yeah, but I've been there many times. I've never seen any crazy stuff. I mean, the only thing I saw that was nuts is when you flush the toilet, it goes the opposite way. Because you are on the opposite part of the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's pretty wicked. Nobody believes you until you see it firsthand, and you're like, whoa. But the police don't even have weapons. They don't even they carry sticks, nightsticks. They'll beat you to death because there's cameras everywhere. I mean, they'll catch you scratching your balls. I don't care where you are, they'll fucking see you doing it. That's how crazy it is there.
What do you think? Do you think it's a work, or do you think it's a shoot, or do you think? I can't feel a lot of pity for Vince, because let's say they say, you fucked up, you're out of the company, go home and retire at 76 years old with $1 billion. He ain't hurting.
He's not gonna. Well, no, he's not hurting. He should retire. I mean, why not pass it to his son like his father did with him? I mean, he was just doing mic work, interviews, and and he was good at it. I'm not saying he wasn't, but Shane is well prepared to handle the business.
Would you give it to Shane though, or would you give it to Steph? I'd give it to Steph personally.
I don't know. I wouldn't give it to Steph. Sorry. The only reason is because that's just going to give Triple H a little bit more power. I think Shane should get it, and she should be, maybe CEO with Shane. I mean, they are the kids. I mean, the kids are going to end up getting the company. Unless Vince is just going to sell it. You know what I mean? And just say that done, wash his hands of it.
Here-
I don't know, you know?
Here's a weird theory, like this had to have come to light somehow. How about this guy that's in all that power now? Nick Khan, no relation to Tony Khan, but how do we know this isn't all part of some finagling to where one of these guys now gets put in charge and they sell it to Disney for a ton of money?
I know Disney's been wanting to buy it. I mean, it's not like Disney hasn't asked. So, and Disney has major money. You know, honestly, they're in trouble right now, Disney. They're having problems. So this would actually maybe get them out of the hole that they're in, you know, because they were criticized for, I don't know, maybe kids getting kidnapped at the park and shit like that, and, you know, trafficking of kids and stuff like that. Who knows? I mean, that's been brought up here in Florida. I had to fly out one day for work, and I left Tampa, and they flew me to Lauderdale. I had like a layover in Lauderdale, which was ridiculous. I don't know why that ended up happening. But the whole time I was there at that airport, every 10 minutes you would hear trafficking. Sex trafficking is a big problem here in Fort Lauderdale. Every 10 minutes I was hearing this. And I'm looking around and I'm just like, wait a minute. People are like walking around, not even acknowledging it. You know what I mean? But, you know, that is where that fucking rapist is from. Jeffrey Epstein, who's probably not even dead. Who knows where he's at? He's probably on some private island somewhere being taken.
I say when you have money and you want to disappear, you can disappear.
He's got money and power, okay? He's got more money. Money is not even an issue for him. I mean, when somebody could steal $46 million from somebody and the guy doesn't even care to get it back, you know he's got some dirt on that son of a bitch right there. The guy that owns Victoria's Secret, there's a lot of dirt on that dude, and Epstein knows all about it because, like I said, he robbed that guy for like $46 million. That's how he got all his money. He was handling his books in New York. And in the meantime, he's buying properties in New York, man. He's got a multi-billion-dollar house right in the middle of Manhattan, man. It's crazy.
Who's got the dirt on Vince?
Well, the people who are going to have the dirt on Vince are going to be his people that are to his right and to his left all the time.
Does Paul E have the dirt?
I'm sure Paul has a lot of dirt. I'm sure Paul knows a lot. And I'm sure John Laurinaitis knows a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you know, he's right there. So there's a lot of people that probably know what went down and not thinking, you know, when they were first going over it, that people talk. I don't care who you are, somebody's going to say something, especially when it comes to money. We're talking $3 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money to cover up an affair. That's a lot of, especially when you're a powerful guy like Vince. But she's full of.
For instance, what if he got this girl pregnant?
Yeah, that's an obscene amount of hush money.
Yeah, but look at his. I mean, his wife could take him for everything he's got. I don't think she's not stupid enough to sign a prenup. Okay, she's a senator, she's a congresswoman, whatever. She ain't gonna sign no prenup. Okay, I think she's gonna take him. If she does, if something happens, she will take him for everything. She'll be the owner of the company, not a bit.
That's when I'll make my move.
Doc makes his move then.
She's had so much plastic surgery, she don't even look the same anymore, man.
She looks like a different person.
Not a bad looking lady, but
oh, I was like, wow. Yeah, she got a facelift, neck tuck, the whole 9 yards. You know, Trump probably paid for everything.
I've always thought Steph was gorgeous. I always thought that.
I met her when she was young, man. She was a kid. She would hang out in the back here and there. But back then, Vince it was a no-no. Like nobody would even talk to her. You know what I mean? Like Vince would always be looking out because he refused. Like even if she liked the guy, he would tell her, "You're not dating a wrestler. It's not happening." You know, I mean, I remember being in the locker room back in the 80s and I would hear them saying that, you know, shit like that. You know what I mean? Just like I remember Shane was like, I'm maybe a couple years older than him. That's about it. But I remember him, he was there because I remember Raven took him to his first strip club. He'd never been to a strip joint before, so Raven took him out. And
Yeah, they were buddies, weren't they?
yeah, they were tight. You know, and then, like I said, I got to meet him, and he was very nice to me, and he was cool. It's just I could see him. It's like I said, he got burned out for a while there, and then he started working for WWF Productions. You know, where they do the movies and stuff, and he's good at that. And that gave him time to do what he wanted to do, which is MMA, and that's what he likes to do. So he was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like 13, 14 years now, probably, maybe longer. So it was good that he got in shape and, you know, did that.
You think Randy Savage fucked Stephanie McMahon? You know, that's an old rumor.
I don't know, man. I mean, in our business, anything's possible. Put it that way.
Now, you know, and nice lady. I'm spacing on her real name. She was Gorgeous George, Macho Man's valet, was white. I think they were together or whatever, shacked up for a while. She did an autograph signing with, I'm not even gonna mention the dude's name, but she did one of them autograph signings virtual. And during the autograph signing, she said Randy told her that he had sex with Stephanie. I mean, I would think Randy would be smarter than that, but it would also explain why, you know, Vince hired back Sid, Sable, the Warrior, Root, all these people. Randy, when he was gone, Randy didn't never, ever come back. And he only got in that Hall of Fame when he was dead.
Yeah, it was a shame. He passed young, man. He was in great shape still.
Boy, he was gassed up beyond belief.
Of course.
I mean, I remember like he wasn't big. He maybe 230, and he had the big bald spot. I'm not throwing stones. He had a big bald spot. He's off WCW for like 3-4 months. He comes back, looks like he'd been full of air. His hair, now he's got a big full head of hair. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, was that when he did that?
Too?
Is that when he had that person that he had that part in that Spider-Man movie, right?
Yeah, he clearly got plugs. Yeah, it was the bone saw, but he put on about 45 pounds of muscle.
For that, yeah, he went on some gas for that.
For
that movie. He had to. I would have, if I knew I was going to be in a DC movie or whatever, you know, Marvel movie, whatever, with Spider-Man, and you're going to go against Spider-Man, and your character is Bones. You got to be the character, man.
My thing too, when it comes to and I'm not singling any celebrity out, but when you see all these celebrity transformations where they're the skinny guy or the fat guy, and now they're jacked, and it's like, well, I did this, and this. It's like, and you had a doctor prescribe you this. That exercise only going to take you so far.
Look at Joaquin Phoenix. Look how much weight he lost to do that, to film The Joker. I mean, he looks anorexic.
He said he ate an apple a day and a cup of coffee, but he had a doctor coming in giving him injections, probably so he wouldn't fucking die. And then he got all his weight right back.
They were probably giving him like an amino acid every other day. He was probably taking that shot because, I mean, when you lose that kind of weight, your organs will shut down if they're not getting what they're supposed to get. So,
hell of a Joker.
Unreal. I mean, it was a crazy movie. I mean, I've seen all the Jokers. I think my favorite was the guy that passed away, Heath Ledger. Unbelievable. When he was in that nurse's outfit. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that was perfection, man.
Oh, I hated that movie.
Yeah, I know I hated the movie, but regardless, I mean, his part in it and the way he played it, I liked it. I've seen so many Jokers. I just think he was like one of the best ones.
My favorite Batman's Adam West. I like this new guy, Robert Pattinson. The new Batman.
Yeah, I have to check that new Batman out yet. I have not checked that out yet.
HBO, 3 hours of your time. It flies by, though. It does not drag at any means.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, even my Christian, when we went and saw it, he was 13. He never got bored. He only went to the bathroom, I think, like twice, which that's about average for a kid guzzling down Mountain Dew at a movie theater.
Mountain Dew in a movie theater. Oh, man. How about these movie theaters today? They got fucking bars in them and shit.
Yeah, restaurants, everything. Now you get a 3-course meal while you're watching a watching a damn movie.
Yeah, in Florida, honest to God, in Florida, they have a restaurant, movie theater with a bar.
Yep.
It's like you go out, get your meal, get a movie, and you don't even have to leave.
They got the gimmick here where you can order your food online, and that way when you sit down, it just gets delivered to your table and that, which that ain't too bad. Then I always say, it's like, now I don't have to stand in line with the common people. They can bring my popcorn to me for that extra $2 or whatever.
The common folk. Jeez.
Like, I'm not like Dusty. Dusty was the common man.
He was.
I like
Hell of
that.
a worker. I
He's a
love him.
hero of mine. I mean, here's another big fat guy with a blotch. He could talk, he could work. Not many people with that physique have made it in professional sports.
He had charisma, brother.
Yes, he did.
Amazing charisma.
Cody
I
seems to
ran
have
into
it.
him. I was working, what was it? Russo called me up and said, come to TNA to work. And I remember I had to work AJ Styles that day for TV. And I was like, cool, let's have a good match, All of a sudden, AJ doesn't want to work me. So I don't know why. So I'm just sitting there and I'm pretty much pissed. I'm like, I came here to work, you know what I mean? I want to work. So Dusty came in, he's like, what's up, man? Because he can see I was pissed off. And he's like, what's up, Pitbull? He was cool. And he's like, what happened? I told him what's going on. He's like, let me go check on that. I'll get back to you. He came back. And he said, yeah, he's afraid that he's not going to be able to put you in his finish. He's nervous. He may hurt you. And I'm like, that ain't going to happen. I said, I'm very light. I said, believe me, I can take that finish. Easy. But they instead put me against Brian Lee, which was no problem. I worked Brian Lee a million times when ECW, so I had no problem with that. They ended up airing it 4 or 5 times on television, so it must have been a good enough match where they showed it that many times. So, but that was the last time I seen Dusty, which sucks.
He
Because
got real thin before he died. I noticed. I don't know if he'd been sick or if he just, because I can't see somebody in age of 60 deciding I'm going to get on a nice diet and get in shape.
no, yeah, I mean, the last time I saw him, he was losing weight. He didn't seem sick to me. I'm not going to lie. He seemed himself, and that's the truth, because he was always happy, and he was in a great mood that day. I mean, there was nothing wrong. So he was looking out for me, and that was cool that he did that. You know what I mean? Because I didn't even talk to Russo that day. That's how pissed I was. Pretty bad. They gave me my ticket to go to I don't know. I don't even want to remember the name of this place, but this it was like a little shack in Tennessee, and we would go there and eat. You know what I mean? And it was I can't even remember the name of the place. That's how. Oh God, yeah. You ready for the name of this place? White Trash Cafe. That was the name of this place where they had us go and eat.
I'd be afraid
How
to eat
ghetto is this?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm trying to get a job here. I got in a car and said, no. Take me back to the airport, please. I'm going home. I said, this is bullshit. You guys can't even afford catering. I got to go to the White Trash Cafe and worry about, get a load of this. I'm in there eating. I got to worry about some sniper shooting me. Okay? Because I'm sitting in the White Trash Cafe. So there's got to be some white person or some black person out there who's pissed the fuck off about the name is going to shoot everybody in there. So at that point, I said, I got to get out of here. I don't care what you offer me as pay, is not going to want me to stay here. And I remember getting in the car with Conan. I think Hack was there, Sam in, and said, take me home, man. Not interested.
Russo killed that company, my opinion.
Who did?
Russo.
Oh my God, yeah.
The
He
horrible
he was so ignorant, man. I was just like, ooh, it was like, I should just go in there and just beat his ass. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking, but then that's going to get me so much heat that I probably won't. I mean, unless it would have got me over, who knows, man. But I was at the point where I'm like, this rude motherfucker ain't going to see nothing to me. I'm ready to go in there and kick his fucking ass. You know what I mean? I was really thinking about it.
I'm a firm believer that, like, when he went to WCW, that's when you saw what he could write. When he was in WWE, if he had 10 ideas, McMahon took one of them ideas switched it to how he wanted it on TV. That guy was, because when he went WCW, all he did was recreate this. It was terrible. TNA was terrible. And what I can't stand about him now is all he does, and I don't listen to his shit, but I remember for the longest time, he'll tell you openly how much he hates wrestling. Yet all he does is do daily shows about wrestling. It's like, you hate wrestling.
Shut
get a
the
new
fuck
profession.
up.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up, because you wouldn't have had the money you have now if it wasn't for the wrestling business.
no.
I mean, the shit you did. I mean, some of the ideas like the bounce, like the boxing gimmick for Vince, that was a
Terrible.
fucking tragedy. You ended up getting so many people hurt for something that nobody wanted to see. You know, and I remember looking at it on TV going, why are they even doing this bullshit? I mean, I was with Steve Austin and my partner. We were at the Sheraton, I remember, and it was just JBL just got done working that night, and he was doing the boxing thing, got knocked the fuck out by Billy Gunn. And we're sitting there drinking, you know, because at the time we ended up, I don't know, we did something for Vince that night, I think. I'm not sure if I remember. And he was like, we could have went out with a lot of guys, but we just said, you know, stick with Steve. He was in ECW with us, and he always used to come to my house. So we stayed with him. And I remember that night, like I said, JBL was crying at the table because he got knocked out. And I remember Steve, you know, sat back, you know, because by then Steve had some beers in him, so he was getting good and buzzed. And he's like, how much fucking money did you make tonight? So me and my partner both look at him. And JBL looks at us and says, no bullshit. He says, I made 65 grand. I said, you made 65 grand for fucking not even a minute, 2 minutes, and you're sitting here crying? I'm like, fuck you. And my partner goes, fuck you. Steve's like, fuck you. Now you buy all three of us drinks, motherfucker. He goes, and he did. Bought us drinks.
Free.
Yeah, bought us drinks because he was crying at the table, man. Steve was just like, what is wrong with you? You made 65 grand. I didn't make 65 grand tonight. You know, you were in that boxing thing. Why are you bitching? See, everybody thought JBL was a tough guy, and he would end up going in there and kicking ass. And maybe that's what Russo thought. Russo thought JBL was going to win. Jim Ross thought Dr. Death was going to win. And that's who they wanted to win. That was the whole idea, is that they were going to throw the strap on Dr. Death, the heavyweight title.
He got fucked up.
He got fucked up. And I know Doc, God rest his soul. I've wrestled with him there a few times, you know. Nicest guy in the world. Awesome. I worked him with Bammer when he was tug up with him. And then I tug up with him after Bammer passed. And I remember we were at the ECW arena, and it was me and Doc in a steel cage match against, it was Danny D'Amato, another guy named Rocco, and one other guy, if I remember correctly. And we did a steel cage. It was pretty cool. But that's when Doc had cancer, because I remember he had to wear a, what are those called? Just a gimmick around his neck. He tied it with a scarf or something like that, because he had a hole right
here.
The
trach that he had.
Yeah, he had the trach, and it was still open, man. So he would just wear it like, you know, a little gimmick, just tie it around his neck. And I was just like, oh shit. And I remember, because we were in Philadelphia. I was only like a block from where I lived. I lived on Delaware Avenue at Dockside Apartments right on the water, man. I had a $500,000 property there. So we had a show right down the street, like 2 minutes away. I could walk. I could have walked there, literally. That's how close it was. And it was right on the water. And then we went back to the arena and started running shows there too. We were doing, I think it was 3PW and Pro Wrestling Unplugged. It was kind of those companies. So.
Yeah, I just was never into Russo. It's like, what did CM Punk say a little while ago? All these old veterans that complain about everything need to just shut the hell up and let the young guys have their time. Which Punk ain't a young guy. I don't know why he says that, but
I don't know. It's like I've done business with Bischoff. Bischoff was better in business than Russo ever was. I mean, at least I could sit and have a conversation with Eric. You know what I'm saying? Russo was just, his head was so fucking big. I mean, I wanted to shove his head up his own ass. That's how bad I wanted to fuck him up.
Who would win a fight, Russo or Cornette? My money be on Cornette.
Because I know Cornette, he probably fights dirty. So I'm gonna say Cornette on that one. Absolutely. Cornette will bite his nose right off.
Cornette has
With
anger.
that tennis racket, he will beat the shit out of you with that tennis racket. You got to realize all them years with that racket, he knows how to swing that fucker.
Yeah.
He knows how to swing it where it won't hurt you, and believe me, he knows how to swing it where it's going to crush you. But many times I was in matches, he was managing the Pitbulls. So Cornette could say whatever, he managed us many times. And they had no problem doing it, especially if we're main event on the show. He was very happy to manage us. He didn't care.
My favorite manager was always Bobby the Brain Heenan. I'll put Cornette at number 2. I liked Cornette's promos. I was a Midnight Express mark. I was a great manager. He's the only wrestling podcast show that I like to listen to, and I'm pretty sure a lot of what he says is just to get people riled up to make money. He's smart. He's not an idiot, but I like him.
I call Cornette a smart mark because he's smart to the business. I mean, you're not going to get anything over him. When he worked for Vince and we came in, he was very clear with us. He's like, all right, you guys you're wrestling headbangers. No problem. We know them. We've wrestled them a million fucking times. We're from the same school. They're just a little younger than us. They were going to bring us in, but then, like I said, Cornette came right in the room. No finish. I don't want to see no super bomb. I'm like, yeah, you're going to steal it. That's why. And they ended up trying to steal it. Dudley's used our super bomb a couple times. Then they went back to the 3D because they know it's not their move.
I like the 3D. 3D was a great finisher.
3D is a good finish. They thought they had heat with me, and because I was we were doing the ECW's. Was kind of Shane Douglas was doing something with some guys, and they were doing another it was like a hardcore homecoming or something they called it, and we worked a couple matches. We went all over the place, but I just remember I was in Ohio and the Dudleys happened to be on it with us, and I was upstairs and me and Ryan were just sitting there shooting the shit. I'm putting my boots on, I'm looking down like I am, I'm getting dressed, and I look up and here's Devon and here's Bubba. And they're sitting looking right at me. And I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, we want to make sure we don't have no heat with you. And I go, what do you mean? And they go, well, they asked us a couple times to use your finish, and we really didn't want to because our finish is 3D, and we knew they were trying to be dickheads to you, and we put our foot down. And I said, I'm not mad at you, man. Because at that point, they had a lot of heat with New Jack. So when New Jack came running up to that building that night, he pulled up in his pickup truck, got out of the pickup truck, reached in the back of the pickup truck, pulled out a fucking chainsaw, started that motherfucker up, went into the building and said, where's the fucking Dudleys? Because I'm going to kill them.
What was the
Dudleys? Huh?
What was the heat from?
It was just some heat they had. I don't know if it was between Devon and him or Bubba and him, but I just remember Bubba wasn't looking too good and Devon wasn't looking too good. They looked a little shaken up because at that point, I think New Jack didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And I'm very tight with New Jack. At that point, I think he wanted to cut him pretty bad. But they squashed everything. Johnny was still alive at that point. One of the Public Enemy, Teddy already passed. Johnny at that point was ashamed, man. He felt so responsible, and I lost my partner too, but he passed away in Connecticut. I was in New Jersey. Same with I was waiting at the arena to wrestle Ted Petty that night. He passed away, so I was there waiting. The night he died, I was supposed to wrestle him. It was awful.
He had a heart attack. Wasn't that what did it?
He had a heart attack behind the wheel. The girl who was in the car with him pulled over. Instead of keep driving down the fucking highway till you see an H sign and get off the exit and take him to a damn hospital. He probably would have made it. No, she didn't do it. She just pulls over on the side of the road like an idiot. And there goes our boy Teddy. passed away. I think he was like 56, 57 maybe.
He
And
was
he
in
was
good
still,
shape
he
too.
was in fucking great shape and he could still wrestle his ass off. People don't know that Ted Petty was the Cheetah Kid. Okay, amazing worker. Fucking, he helped so many guys in the business. It's beyond. I can't even mention them all because he was a Larry Sharp guy. He ended up buying. If you remember correctly, Larry Sharp's dad was building rings back in the day, and he was renting them out. That was part of their business. He sold that business to Ted Petty. Ted Petty bought that business. So then that's why Ted Petty, he was already a wrestler, and he's like, shit, I might as well get in the ring business. I can, I rent out a ring once every weekend. You figure, I don't know, back then they were probably getting $400 or $500 a ring rental.
That ain't bad at all.
No, so you say you get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's $1,500 in your pocket. The ring costs $3,500. I mean, you make your money back real quick.
Johnny passed of a heart attack too, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah, he was very, very overweight. At that point, I was even like, dude, you gotta drop some weight. Seriously, I understand you're depressed, but it was just bad.
They were a great team. Let me phrase it. I love them in ECW. Anywhere else they went, it didn't work. Paul knew how to hide their negatives. And Paul was so good at that. That was like my favorite team. They went to WCW. It's like, yep, they're on national TV. Man, they suck. It was like that. It was because they didn't have anybody to work with. They weren't doing the interviews right. It was like, it didn't work.
Yeah, it was a complete mess, dude. They weren't happy there. Then they went to Vince. They weren't even happy there. I know they weren't happy there. I had no problem with WCW. I couldn't wait to go work for WCW. I mean, we were getting ready to go, and then, like I said, bang, Vince bought them. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. And they were giving us a good spot and everything. I mean, I couldn't complain about. I mean, when you got Kevin Sullivan on the phone, Terry Taylor, Eric Bischoff, Diamond Dallas Page, and fucking Raven, all five of them are sitting there on the phone with me. I'm at home and I'm just like, yeah, you don't have to ask me twice. Yes, I will meet you at the Spectrum. We'll be there for the show. And we'll come and talk business. And that's exactly what they wanted. And they called us from the jet. Bischoff had fucking Ted Turner's jet because Rick Rude was on the plane as well. And he gave him my number. And I remember Bischoff called my house with all the guys on the phone. And they said, we're going to bring you guys in for the December pay-per-view and you're going to wrestle the Steiners for the titles. And we're going to give you a 3-year deal. I was like, fucking hey, man, thank God. It came just in time, too. The timing was perfect. We already went to Vince and it was 98 and he was taking his time. He told us. We went there that night. I mean, they put us over even in the commentary. They were like saying, will they beat the Headbangers? I mean, is that good of a match? And we've worked for Vince since the 80s, late 88, 89. So we know how it is there. We worked real easy, and it was a good match. I mean, they air it many times. And they were going to put Tori Dustin's ex-wife with us.
Oh, Terry Reynolds.
They were going to make Terry be our manager at that point, which was fine. We used her. She managed us a couple times on Indies, once in a blue moon. So when she went back to Vince, they didn't even ask us. They were like, we're going to put her with you because you guys usually always have manager anyway. And I'm like, yeah. I said, that's how we work. I mean, it's easier for us because we like to use our manager to help us. If, like I said, if you're going to get in the business and be a manager, you're going to get, especially if you're going to be with the Pitbulls, you're going to get used. You're going to do stuff. You're going to have work to do. I make the referees work. Like I tell them, here's our finish. If we forget it, you have to remember. You know what I mean? It's like you got to do your job. I want to know I want to know when it's time to go home. So you tell me 3 minutes and then I know I can start going home and be done. So I make sure they work. A lot of guys, I notice, they don't use the referee. Like they don't bring it in the match. They don't, you know what I mean? If you got a valet, you use that to your advantage. You you take the referee, turn him around, have that guy laying there selling, your manager can choke the shit out of him, which builds up heat. So toward that end of that match, I used to do that with the FBI. We would have great matches with the FBI. It was Tracy Smothers, Little Guido, sometimes JT Smith. What's his name? The blonde hair. Tommy Rich. My man Tommy Rich would be in there. And he was one of the full-blooded Italians, which is great because he'd get so much heat. By the time the end of the match comes up and he would pop up and I would hit him with that bit, right off the apron, the place would go crazy.
And he never brought in his buddy, the Iron Sheik, to be the full-blooded Iranians. Missed the boat.
That probably would have been good, man. The way the Sheiky is, man. Like I did a signing, what was it, 2 weeks ago for Eric Sims, ESS, good company. Eric's a good guy. He pulls out pictures that had to be from the late 80s, early 90s, and it was the Pitbulls and the Iron Sheik. We were like with Sheiky, baby. Like I was like, I don't even remember this picture. When was this taken? And he's like, I had Sheiky and I had you guys that weekend. I don't even remember. So I had one hammer and Anthony had the other hammer. Remember those big hammers he would work with? Those things were, oh my God, man. I don't know. He's a strong man. Because those things were big and heavy.
No, I mean, like you could have had the Sheik, and he could have been there. It's like, just full-blooded Iranians. And then Tommy Rich goes, oh, Sheik is the Italian. So you could have got 20 minutes recorded. You'd had a month of TV with it. It would have been funny.
It would have been
hilarious. Sheik is.
It would have been hilarious. That's how good that would have turned out. That would have been fucking great. But yeah, back to Jeff. Dude, did you see when he got pulled over? I saw the video. Did he fall down?
Yeah, he was fucked up.
He fell down, got up, laughing, all fucked up, man. And the cop was just like, you could see that both cops were just like, dude, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. You're that fucked up. And you're driving your car. It blew my mind, man. Like I could not believe. Because they showed it. I was like, okay, let me see how whack he was, and I watched it and I was just
I totally Khan had to, what he suspended him without pay, which he
now Vince doesn't do that. Vince still pays you.
Oh, does he? Oh yeah, I guess. I've had
what Vince is gonna do is Vince is gonna send you to the rehab and you're still gonna get paid, but you gotta stay there 30 days. You can't leave. I have a lot of friends that've been there. I have never been to rehab. Never have. So that's a good thing, knock on wood.
What did Pillman, didn't he used to wear that shirt that said rehab is for quitters or something like that?
Oh yeah. That was great.
I
loved it. I even made a shirt. I called it Roid Boys. So I'd have my face on the front with my eyes open with red blood vessels all blown up in my eyes, and I have a syringe going in my neck. And then in the back, it would say, shut up and lift. And I called it Roid Boys. I got rid of a ton of them shirts back in the day, bro.
You don't have
80s.
You need to get some shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees.
They have one of my shirts on there, but I got to get some new ones done. I'm actually working on that now that I got a new valet, Nikki Knockout Lee. And she's smoking. People are starting to get around. People starting to see it. So, yeah, I'm getting some new shirts done. Also, pretty soon, the New England Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame will be starting soon this coming year, which is we're going to be running the Women's Professional Hall of Fame, Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, which we'll be doing events. We'll be, putting people in the Music Hall of Fame, and then also we'll be putting people in the Women's Hall of Fame, and we're starting a tag team Hall of Fame as well. So we're going to try to do weekends, like a whole weekend event.
Are you going to put Ivory in the Hall of Fame?
I have no idea.
I would love to meet Ivory. That's why I'm asking.
She's a very nice person.
I remember
I was on the road with her a few times, and she's very, very, very nice. She has a pizza place, her and her husband, so they do pretty good, you know.
Oh, she's married?
I
Yeah,
think so, yeah.
I ruined that. Back to
Yeah.
Linda.
But she's, I mean, you look at her, she still looks great.
She does.
She keeps in shape. I mean, that's one thing I did notice about her. She does keep in shape.
Same for Molly Holly, or what Nora thinks her real name. She looks
She's
amazing
still in
too.
shape. Yeah, yeah. I remember I didn't like her gimmick, but a lot of people don't like their gimmick. You know, but they just keep their mouth shut and get paid. That's how it is in the business.
I never thought much of Lita, and then when I met her, and which was just a few years back, maybe less than 5 years, she looks great in person. I never thought she was that pretty on TV. And God, she looks phenomenal. She looks this. I mean, she's a really pretty lady in real life. Little out there, but she's kept in amazing shape. She had a little dog with her.
Yeah.
Her hands.
I happened to watch last night. I don't know, man. I was scrolling through the TV and bang, the Miz and Mrs. come on.
My wife watches that. I love the misses.
Oh my God, what a trip, dude. I love that show. It's hilarious. I like Mike. He's fucking funny, man.
Yes.
I mean, I met him a long time ago and he was always nice to me. And he's been in the business for so long. I mean, look how long he went without getting hurt or injured. I mean, people don't look at that. I mean, he's a hard worker, man. And he's getting everything he deserves. But it's hilarious because I see him doing Dancing with the Stars. I don't watch that shit, but seeing him do it was hilarious. And he did a good job. I mean, I was surprised. But it's funny, man, how you can get under his nerves so easy, man. Just pushing his buttons gets him going crazy, man. Because I remember watching one episode where he had a Kamala doll, an action figure that had the moon on his belly, which made that action figure worth about $10,000. And I remember Mike just sitting there saying, I don't understand. I'm the Miz. I'm the Miz. How do my action figure, how does this guy's action figure cost more than mine? I was laughing my ass off, man. It was funny.
I liked Kamala.
I loved Kamala.
He passed away, didn't he? Or is he still alive?
No, he passed away. Last time I saw him, I worked for Insane Clown Posse in Detroit. He was on the show. I went in his dressing room and said hello to him, of course. His legs looked really bad, man.
He had them both amputated, I think, before he passed. It was diabetes real bad, didn't he?
Yes. Yep, and that's no scary thing, man. People got to fucking, believe me, I'm very careful of my sugar intake, man. You never know. So, but yeah, he passed. He was a great worker, good talent, and he stayed in as long as he could. You know, I got to give him props.
He moved good for as big as he was.
Yeah, and he would wrestle barefoot. I always was amazed on how these guys wrestle barefoot. I couldn't do it. I don't know how they do it.
I never understood when I read Bret Hart's book. He said when he would make the blade, he kept it under his tongue.
Yeah,
I would be afraid. What if you fell and swallowed it?
I know, but I'm going to give you an honestly. That's true because my partner would keep his blade in his mouth. I never did that. I would either tape it to my finger because Ric Flair would show me how to put it on my finger.
Yeah, where you could just go like that, basically.
Well, it's covered with tape. So what you do is you get underneath your finger and you just push it up and it will pop through that tape because it's that sharp. And then you gig, when you let your thumb go, it should go right back underneath that tape. And then you don't cut nobody. I did it for a while like that. But then it got to the point where if I grabbed somebody, I didn't want to cut them. And I was cutting people. I didn't want to do that. So then I would make two blades and I would hand them to the referee. And I would tell the referee, I'd say, look, you hold these two. I need one. If I'm going to need another one, I will ask you, and then you'll know because I'll be on the ground and he drops it right between my hands. And nobody can see it. I grab it. My hair's covering everything. I would gig myself, make sure it's dripping on the floor so I know I got good color. And then I would just pop up. If I didn't have good color, then I would wait, do another spot, tell the ref, bring me another blade. So I'd gig myself twice if I had to.
New Jack had the best. If you worked him, he just gigged you. He took that fucking X-Acto knife on that stick and would just start. I wouldn't want New Jack to gig me. I wouldn't want anybody to gig me, let alone.
You don't let any, listen, you don't let nobody gig you. Everybody that's going to do it, you do it yourself. Imagine, look what happened at Mass Transit. That's because a guy asked New Jack to cut his forehead. That goes to show you how stupid that guy was. Okay. It's a shame, but that's all his fault. He lied about everything. He told everybody he was a worker, you know, and we would go into towns and, you know, his dad was the mayor. So we were just giving back. I mean, let the kid have a little, you know, fame a little bit, you know, but he lied. If he didn't lie, he would have never gotten a ring. But since he lied, and that's how Jack got off the thing, because the kid lied.
And when he kept, if you watch the tape, which RF Video was selling the tape that night, you know, the bloodiest thing, but when you see the kid getting taken back, like he's doing the stretcher job, he's trying to get that air going to pump that blood. So he's trying to get that vein to pop. So it's like, okay, well, he's puffing his cheeks. He's trying to get more blood to come out.
Yeah. Like when the Punk did an MJF did that dog collar, MJF didn't get enough collar.
No, he had a scratch. He had what I would do if I just went like that. Punk was gushing.
I don't know. Is he going to WE, you think?
Who?
MJF.
I don't know. I heard he got a raise.
Oh, well, then he ain't going to go nowhere.
I'm pretty sure.
Vince will pay him more. Vince will take him and pay him.
I'd take him in a heartbeat. I don't know if I would have him be well, actually, let me take that back. He'd be a great manager. He's a good worker, but I like how Tony Khan, he wrestles every few months. He's not wrestling every week. He's like an attraction, which I like that.
That's good. But
I don't like that essentially Wardlow, who I do think is very talented. Why are they making him Goldberg? He's coming down just like Goldberg, and the crowd chants Wardlow. It's like, come on.
Yeah, well, they're going to push him. They got to build him. They're going to make him. He may be the next heavyweight champ. Who knows?
Young, big, he can talk, he can work. He's good.
He fits the part. But I don't want to be a downer, but I got to end this interview today. Sorry.
That's all right.
All these flights getting canceled, guys. Everybody and their mother's going to be going crazy this week.
Hey, you got to find a flight.
They canceled 1,200 of them. I'm getting on my phone as soon as I hang up now.